Hey everyone, Dr. Anthony here. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about no longer functioning on automatic pilot, uh, no longer functioning according to the points of view that were impelled on you when you were a child by your mom, your dad, teacher, preacher, rabbi, guru. The list goes on and on. And how much of your life are you actually living based on what you know? Now, you can change that if you want to. And if everything's working out fine for you, then don't change a darn thing. But for those of you who know that there's something else that's possible, but for whatever reason you can't seem to break outside of those boxes that you've put yourself in or that other people put you in. You know, I'd like to share a story about six and a half years ago, and many of you have seen some other videos that I've done, but my first wife committed suicide. She struggled with bipolar disorder, and at the time we were in the church, the Christian church, and we sought counsel. Now, being a holistic chiropractor, okay, I knew she was getting ill from the very beginning when her symptoms were very mild. And I wanted to put her on natural supplements, just herbs and whatnot, to see if we can, stop this thing from snowballing and getting worse. And so she was a bit stubborn and didn't want to do it because she was in denial that her symptoms were returning. And so we sought counsel, and there was probably 6 elders and a couple of women, and they all got around and prayed, and they basically said, the Lord says don't take the vitamins. And I'm like, what do you mean don't take the vitamins? She hasn't slept in 4 months and her heart rate is 120 beats a minute at rest. I'm trying to keep her from being institutionalized at this point. And so, unfortunately, it was like, at the time, it felt like it was them against me, right? But they used the name of God to basically make me wrong, that I was incorrect in my knowing. And I looked at them straight in the face and I said, I've been through this before with her. I know what I know. I'm a healthcare professional, and I'm trying to prevent this thing from getting to the point where she either ends her life, becomes institutionalized, and things become a mess. And so none of them agreed with me. And when you're married, you never like to listen to your significant other. So of course, in those 10 seconds, she didn't listen to me. She took the advice of the elders, the pastor, and a couple of the women that were there. And about 3 days later, she came running into the room while I was praying and meditating. I need the supplements. And at that point, it was too late. I'm like, look, I don't think vitamins are going to even help you. You need something a little bit more powerful. The whole point of this long story here, and this is a particular story that I don't think I've ever shared, but I have this upcoming call that I'm doing with a great friend of mine from India, Chandana Bawa, and this call is about creating with and beyond culture, ethnicity, and religion. And that was a certain example of where my late wife was not willing to look outside the box. And even though I knew without a shadow of a doubt what her needs were at that time, and they didn't. They'd never seen anything like that before. They didn't live through that before like I did. But yet, because they were representing the particular religion at the time, and held the seats of a hierarchical, stance, if you will, their word basically superimposed mine. And it's not about right or wrong, but this is really about knowing. And who else would know your spouse? Who else would know your children more than you when you live with them every single day? And so what this call that we're creating is not for you to give up anything, not for you to, throw it to the wayside, but it's like, what if you could actually create with and beyond the confines of culture, ethnicity, and religion? What if there was something else that was possible? And, all these different things, all these rituals, they're supposed to be for fun. They're supposed to be for celebration, no matter what they are. If dancing around the fire, singing Kumbaya opens up, all your, spiritual channels and all that, awesome, do it. If praying and speaking in tongues, to Jesus is something that's fun for you, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not about right or wrong, but this is about no longer being at the effect of right or wrong within religion, ethnicity, and culture. Okay, this is no longer being at the effect of the elders, the gurus, the teachers, the preachers, the rabbis. This call is about empowering you to know that you know. Okay? And whether you call it God, Jesus, consciousness, the unknown, whatever, energy, I don't care what you call it. That's not what this call is about. But this call is about removing the shackles of religion, ethnicity, and culture. The very things that create war till this day in 2017. Now, this is a long video, but I hope you're at least getting something out of it. I recently did a DNA test with Ancestry.com, and it's not a promotion for them at all. I spit in this little tube, $80, and I think everybody on the planet should do it because I think it might change a lot of people's points of view about the way they look at other people's races, ethnicities, religions, and cultures. So it's like I found out that I'm 85% European, 69% of which is Italian and Greek. Now I have red hair. My hair may look brown on the video. I have freckles all over my body. Okay? Italian and Greek, 69%. 7% Irish. 0 Scandinavian. Go figure. And here I'm this redheaded guy, right? And yet 9% Northern Africa. 9%. Northern Africa, more than Irish. Okay? So places like Morocco and the Western Sahara and some of those other places up there. So the point I'm trying to make is, and based on this, they say, they talk about this thing of 6 degrees of separation. Like every 6 people you're probably related to them in some way, shape, or form. If we all knew that, would there actually be division? Would there be separation between cultures, families, neighbors, nations? From my point of view, hell no. I think everybody should do that test. I don't know. So it was just a lot of fun for me to do, so that's a side note. But I invite you to the call that Shonda and I are doing because it is a way, it's going to be a call where we actually bring up a lot of different issues from different religions, ethnicities, and cultures. Not to make them wrong, but to maybe expose the parts that have held all of us in bondage, has held humanity in bondage. And like I said, if it's working for you, hey, we're not asking you to change anything. We're just asking you or inviting you to a greater possibility. Because you know what? You can have more. And it's not about greed or selfishness, but it's about enjoying your life and your living and no longer feeling imprisoned by the point of view that were passed down to you from your parents and your grandparents. And I'm sure they were all lovely people and they all meant well. But as you all know, most of them are speaking from ignorance. So anyway, come play with us, see what it creates for you in your life. And if it's not something for you, you probably have a lot of friends and family that would benefit from this call. So love you, adore you, big hugs to you. Bye.